Hi, Craig Harmon of Harmony Music Education. Glad to have you back for another episode of How to Improve Your Singing. Today I'm going to talk about a movie line that is essential to help you sing better, or at least to how you think about singing. That is from the movie and also the musical, The Music Man. And the line goes like this: singing is nothing more than sustained talking. You see, here's how this works. If we can talk, for the most part, we can sing. Because we all talk on different pitches. You might notice that as I'm speaking right now, my voice goes high and my voice goes low. Those are all individual pitches. And when I sustain it, all of a sudden now it's turned into music. Yeah, that's how it works. It's pretty simple, but yet it's very complicated, of course, because if it was that easy, it would be so much fun to do. But there's some work behind it. And of course, there is fun, but there's just as much work. And so the idea came back in the early church, where it's recorded that this thing called chant started. And so the whole idea was if the pastor was going to say something, well, the pastor would just sing something. But he would only do it on one note, and then he might change. And that's it. That's all he would do. And this, throughout history, expanded and grew so that maybe it was 2 people, then maybe it was 4 people, then maybe it was an entire choir of people. And music has just grown, and our understanding of music has grown and changed. The boundaries of music have been pushed and pulled and stretched and all of these things. And when we're talking about singing, it still comes back to this one fundamental thing. Singing is nothing more than sustained talking. It's interesting when we stop and really ponder that, right? Because at its core, sure, that's pretty much it, right? Like I mentioned in last video, our breath is the most important part, right? We just naturally breathe. Well, we naturally talk too, right? We don't have to think about how we talk, but to turn that talking into singing, we use something else that's a really important sense that's a part of our body, which would be our ears. Our ears are amazingly important when it comes to singing, because the whole idea is you want to be able to hear that pitch, that note, that sound that you're singing to make sure that you're singing it correctly. So if I said, hey, I want you to sing that note, and I sing this note, well, that's not right? Because they don't match. But if I hear that note, and I sing that note because that's the note that I hear, okay, now we're talking, right? And that's where this whole idea of matching pitch comes in. It's one basic thing to start with: singing is nothing more than sustained talking, and to say all I have to do is just stay on this one pitch, right? But then it's being able to match those pitches and those sounds when they move up or when they move down. And that's where the challenge of singing comes in. So there's different exercises that we can do. And the first one that I love to do with beginning singers is just a simple 3-note exercise. And it goes like this. All right, so I'm going to start low. I'm going to sing it in my range. And I'm just going to sing on ah. Ah, now I'm going to move up a half step or a little bit. Ah, and I keep doing that. Ah, ah, because you're working on really just matching just a couple notes, going up and going back down. And one of the things that I've found is for singers that have a little bit of a difficulty in matching pitch, just sticking to 1 or 2 notes, maybe 3 notes, can definitely help a whole lot, right? And the challenge, of course, is we get self-conscious, right? We want to hear that note, and we want to get there, and it gets frustrating, right? If I'm singing this, I'm supposed to sing this note, and I sing this note. No, that's not it. No, right? And then it's like, okay, it builds a little bit more. But one of the things that's really important is just to keep working at it, right? And one of the things that helps, I've found, is to sing in a more relaxed setting, right? If I say, okay, I'm going to play this one note and you sing along with it, it's like, oh, that's really hard. It is, you're right. So let's pick a song that you know, right? Everybody has songs that they know. It might be Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. We might have to go that basic, or maybe it's a song that your favorite song on the radio is. Great, let's do that, and let's have you sing that, and then let's dial in. How are you hearing? How are you matching that? Here's the biggest clue. One of the things that is the most important to matching pitch is repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. It's not the easiest for everybody to be able to match pitch. But the more you practice at it, the easier it gets. And so the more you do different exercises, the more you sing along with songs that you hear on the radio, the more you sing everywhere you go, well, yeah, okay, you may not like the sound, and possibly others around you might not either. The more you do it, guess what? The better your voice is going to get, and the more confident your singing is going to be. So, let's start with talking, but let's stretch it out, and let's turn it into some beautiful sounds through repetition and practice.